watching the local news bulletin file here on Star Television Network, Channel 21, with me, Sienna Wright. First, the headlines. The Milton Magai College of Education and Technology has officially launched its Renewable Energy Laboratory and also a public lecture on the topic Health and Safety at a Construction Site on Thursday, 18th April 2019 at their Congo Cross campus in Freetown.
I'm not fighting to transform Milton Magai so that Philip will continue to be the principal. That is not my philosophy.
The Deputy Minister of Information and Communications, lawyer Solomon Jamiru, has outlined key achievements and what still remain as challenges in President Julius Maada Bio's 1 year in office.
We have not been getting it right. That is why IMF disengaged. So in terms of revenue generation, we have been able to scale up from about 12.6% of our GDP.
Statistics Sierra Leone, in collaboration with the Environment Protection Agency Sierra Leone and Right to Access Information Commission, has held a second Sierra Leone NASA Virtual Africa Regional Data Cube Training Workshop at the Radisson Blu Hotel in Freetown.
I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for being consistent in environmental data collaborative meetings, as well as on the African Regional Data Cube provided by GPSDD, which all aim to address some key data gaps and challenges in the environmental and other sectors.
Those were the headlines. It's now time for the news in detail. The Milton Magai College of Education and Technology has officially launched its Renewable Energy Laboratory and also a public lecture on the topic Health and Safety at a Construction Site on Thursday, 18th April 2019 at their Congo Cross campus in Freetown. George Elliott Sam has the detail.
In his statement, the principal of the Milton Magai College of Education and Technology, Dr. Philip John Kanu, said when he took over the administration of the college was for him to bring the college once again to its lost glory. That is why he has embarked on the refurbishment of student hostels, which include the restrooms, college library, and college laboratory, among many. And it's time for the students of the Milton Magai College of Education at Congo Cross to have a laboratory that will help them in their studies.
I am not fighting to transform Milton Magai so that Philip will continue to be the principal. That is not my philosophy. I want to support the institution. After that, we can bring somebody else. Let me dance my own dance. After my own music, I need to leave the stage so that another dancer will come. That aspect of people holding on to position, it is not in my DNA. All of the things that we are bringing, it is for you. The laboratory is for you. We commission toilets, it's for the students. And let me tell you, Congo Cross is very close to my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity on behalf of College Council to officially commission the renewable energy in Milton Magai College of Education and Technology, Congo Cross campus.
In his remarks, the Dean of Campus for the Milton Magai College of Education at Congo Cross, Engineer David Jibai, urged students to make good use of the facility and also call on the students to support their principal in his developmental strives.
Let me just give you an overview of what you are going to find in that lab. You will actually see a solar panel, solar PV. You see the connections. Everything is set. The moment you enter there, you see that it will be in operation. We also have a wind turbine. And we have the one for experimental purposes for our students. We have smaller panels wherein the students will practice to install those panels so that they can charge mobile phones. We have over 1,000 of those panels for student practical purposes.
Other highlights include official launch of the Renewable Energy Laboratory, statements from various other speakers that graced the occasion, and a public lecture that was made by Dr. Ibrahim Ba, which climaxed the program. Reporting for Star News in Freetown, I am George Elliott Sam.
The Deputy Minister of Information and Communications, lawyer Solomon Jamiru, has outlined key achievements and what still remain as challenges in President Julius Maada Bio's 1 year in office. He spoke to Abdurrahman Kamara in this interview when he visited our studio.
But let's also look at what our donor partners, our development partners have been saying. Sierra Leone, if you really have to get it right, look at revenue generation. Please ensure that there is no fiscal recklessness. And the records are that we have not been getting it right. That is why IMF disengaged. So in terms of revenue generation, we have been able to scale up from about 12.6% of our GDP now to 14.1%. Monthly accruals from about 192 billion a month to now an average of about 339 billion and more a month. Which means, with these important critical steps, government is able to bolster its position to be paying off its debts. Again, I go back. We met about 1.5 or 1.6 billion United States dollars foreign debts, over 500 million United States dollars domestic debt. We have to be providing goods and services and at the same time trying to offset those indebtedness. And look at the moratorium, look at the several executive orders that President Bio issued. So in terms of the economy, yes, we may not be where we're actually anticipating to be, but with respect to those issues relating to revenue generation, fiscal discipline, it means we are taking the right direction. We are in the right trajectory. So for people who say bread and butter issue, yes, as a government we acknowledge that we have the bread and butter issue. And we're going to ensure that we approach this bread and issue from the point of view of reciprocity. What do I mean by reciprocity? The government of Sierra Leone making sure that it takes the necessary steps that will ensure that the necessary conditions for economic growth are actually satisfied and implemented, established, but also making sure that for our folks, our compatriots, for some of us who have trained in skills, for some of us who believe that we can start our businesses as entrepreneurs, we may not necessarily have to wait for government to provide the employment for us. So we are looking at all of those issues. As a government, we are making sure that we do everything it takes to have the necessary conditions for economic development. We are also looking at issues like credit. The ordinary Sierra Leonean who may want to start as an entrepreneur is looking at how he accesses credit. He goes to a commercial bank, for example. The interest rate is about 20% or thereabout, or more. If that person is able to attract some kind of facility with that kind of interest rate, how do you compete for somebody who comes from another country with 5% interest rate or zero interest rate? As a government, we are aware. We are looking at that bigger picture. We will get to that position, but it's important that we take the initial critical steps. Revenue generation, we shoot up our revenue generation. We make sure that we embrace fiscal discipline. Once we are able to get that right, and President Bio's anticipation is that we benchmark ourselves at about 20% of GDP. Once we are able to do that, it means as a government, as a country, we'll be able to handle a lot of things economically without necessarily depending on the donors. And we are also looking at agriculture with the interventions that have started happening and with people that are here. Yesterday, the government received the delegation from the United Arab Emirates. So with all of that put into one context, yes, we may not be where we're anticipating to be as a government. We may not be where some people think, the bread and butter issue are resolved. But I will tell you that for the initial critical steps that we are taking, it means we are heading to the right direction.
Statistics Sierra Leone, in collaboration with the Environment Protection Agency Sierra Leone and Right to Access Information Commission, have held a second Sierra Leone NASA Virtual Africa Regional Data Cube Training Workshop at the Radisson Blu Hotel in Freetown. Here is the highlight.
Statistics Sierra Leone, in collaboration with the Environment Protection Agency Sierra Leone and Right to Access Information Commission, have held a second Sierra Leone NASA Virtual Africa Regional Data Cube Training Workshop at the Radisson Blu Hotel in Freetown. Speaking through a video conference call on the objective of this national training on the Africa Regional Data Cube infrastructure, Dr. Brian Kellogg said, the initiative seeks to provide a follow-up to the training on the ARDC in May 2018 at Nairobi, Kenya. It will aim at building in the country hands-on capacity and skills in using the ARDC infrastructure approaches for application algorithms to provide relevant data products for decision-making.
I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for being consistent in environmental data collaborative meetings, as well as on the African Regional Data Cube provided by GPSDD, which all aim to address some key data gaps and challenges in the environmental and other sectors. I also want to thank the Right to Access Information, Statistics Radio, sectors, Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry, for driving the process with EPA and the Global Partnership for Sustainable Development Data for this timely data infrastructure provision that will provide the much-needed observation data that we have this country. Ladies and gentlemen, the aim of this training is to initiate a national conversation and sensitization around the data cube to a larger country audience comprising of public and private institutions that will leverage the ARDC for the full benefit of Sierra Leone. We are all aware of the data gap challenges in the environment sector. As it grapples with waste management, solid, liquid and plastic, water air pollution, flood land degradation, etc., etc., etc. Without a quality and real-time data, usable data infrastructure, and good collaboration with key stakeholders, effective management of the environment will remain our biggest struggle. Distinguished participants, it is not a surprise that the African Regional Data Cube provide analytical ready Earth observation geospatial data decades, allowing easily accessible geospatial analysis of key issue ranging from vegetation to land degradation to water extent and quality, flooding organization with most land to impact.
It will also serve to initiate a national conversation and sensitization around the ARDC to a large country audience comprising of public and private institutions that will leverage the ARDC for full benefit of Sierra Leone. The workshop is part of the objective of the Global Partnership for Sustainable Development Data to support partner countries in leveraging data and technology innovation such as satellite imagery to address data requirements for national development and sustainable development goals. The training will be facilitated by the National Astronautics and Space Administration Committee on Earth Observation Satellite System Engineering Office team, which is led by Brian Kellogg. Participants should have a good knowledge of geospatial satellite data with an interest in learning how to use the data cube for the generation of application products or the management of short data. For Star TV News, I am Asnatu Elma Bokari reporting.
Well, viewers, that's all we have for you here in our local news bulletin file for the hour on Star Television Network, Channel 21. I am Sienna Wright. Thanks for watching and do stay with us if you can.